Does it feel like your partner is gaslighting you? Is he maybe a narcissist because of that? Hi everyone, in today's episode of Narcissist or Not, I'm going to share with you some very simple tips or approaches that you can start implementing in your relationship to really identify whether or not your partner is a narcissist. If this is one of the first times watching one of my videos, my name is Mireille Nicole. I'm a relationship coach, and I've shared on many occasions how I'm not a big fan of labels. So although I do believe there are narcissists out there, I do find that nowadays we tend to throw these labels out a little bit too quickly. And there are many times where we can actually turn around situations in our relationship where it feels like there's narcissism, when in fact, instead of narcissism, it's just a basic relationship skill that we haven't mastered together yet as a couple. And this can change. So today we're going to talk about gaslighting. And very simply put, gaslighting is basically when your partner tries to convince you that whatever happened in the past didn't actually happen, or tries to warp your version of reality, or try to convince you that, you've gone crazy and you're imagining things, or things didn't actually really happen that you're sure did in fact happen. Now, there are two things that I want to say about this. And the first thing I want to say is we have to rule out whether or not your partner is actually not just being defensive, right? So a lot of times if we bring things up that might stir feelings of guilt, shame, or blame in our partners, they might want to protect themselves. They have an ego. We pretty much all have egos unless you're perfectly enlightened, right? We all want to protect ourselves. And if someone brings something up that's happened in the past that makes us feel bad about ourselves from doing that, maybe now we know better, but we don't have the tools to express that or make things better in the moment, we might resort to try to erase what happened or convince the other person that we see it differently and something else actually happened. Now, I'm not saying this is healthy in any way, but a lot of times if we don't have, like I said, some basic communication skills, some basic relationship skills in our repertoire, we might resort to these things to really protect ourselves. And when we love someone, we really want to help them out, right? So I always say, if you're in a relationship and you really care about this person, I know you might have a lot of emotions, there might be a lot of built up resentment and frustration, but a wonderful gift you can give them before slapping on the narcissist label is to really look at the way that you are approaching the communication. So like I said earlier, in your words, before you say something, like I always say, practice, write it down first, reread what you're going to say. Is there anything being said there that might bring up guilt, shame, or blame? Is there anything accusatory in the way that it's being said, in the words being used, in the tone, in the nonverbal expressions that you're using? Anything that might be a slight, right? Oh, you always do that. You never apologized for this. You did this. A lot of us are wired to be in defense mode. And this is all related to our past experience, past traumas. And if your man is not in therapy, and maybe even if you yourself are not in therapy, we can be very, very sensitive to these things. So the first thing I wanted to share with you today is to really look at the way you're expressing yourself to make sure he doesn't feel like he's being attacked. The second thing I want to share about gaslighting is that it's very important, if you want to move forward with this relationship, to really start looking into the future as opposed to always bringing up the past. Now, I'm not suggesting that you completely ignore what's happened in the past, but if there's a lot of gaslighting, if there's a lot of defensiveness happening in the relationship, and that you actually want to see if you guys can move forward together, I really encourage you to start coming back to the present moment and even looking towards the future in a more positive way. Maybe before bringing up the past and things that have happened, maybe you guys need to work on the foundation, what's happening in this present moment. Maybe you guys have to get back into the habit of really envisioning a positive future for yourselves together and dreaming about what you guys desire as a couple. And once that foundation is in place, you can actually bring things up from the past and really work through those things. And there won't be so much sensitivity and defensiveness and gaslighting happening. And that's probably one of the hardest things to do in our relationship. If we feel a lot of resentment, if we've had a lot of past hurts with our partner for which maybe we've never received an apology, or the apology never really sounded sincere, it's going to be very hard. And this is going to take work, right, for you to get through it. But the faster that you can work through it, the more you can let it go, not forgive, not forget necessarily at this point, but just let it go and still be open to imagining a better future for the two of you and really focusing on your friendship and your love in the moment. The more you might even find that he himself might open up about the past. And remember, the both of you have different experiences in life, and even your life together, you will see it through a different lens, a different mental program. So even if you guys have been through through things together, both of you are going to see things differently. And it's not a matter of thinking the other person is gaslighting you. Some of it might be that they interpreted things a certain way and you interpreted things a different way, right? We're all looking through life and our experiences through the lens of our past experience, what we've been taught, what we've been programmed. So start using these two approaches, these two tips to really identify whether or not your partner is in fact a narcissist, or maybe he's not. Maybe these are just narcissistic traits that are being amplified as a symptom of some things that need to be worked on in your relationship. And once you do start doing that work, the narcissism starts to go away. I'm curious, have you ever experienced gaslighting by a partner? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the two tips I just shared? Have you tried any of this in the past? Has it worked? Has it not worked? Do you have other suggestions? Leave them in the comments below. And if this is something you've tried doing on your own and you would love some support or some advice based on your own personal situation, I will put a link in the description and in the comments so you can get in touch with me. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.